Right, so this is the data set given. I decided to choose Edo State. I just wanted to see a state that has few polling units, but apparently Edo also has a lot of polling units, which is about 200 and something. Okay, so this was the data I got, and for me to get the latitude and longitude, I used the extension many people have talked about, which is I think I used the awesome table extension to get the
Taylor,
latitude
go outside. Go and go.
and
You are disturbing me. Listen, go outside. I'm
okay, so let me try mute. So that's for I used this extension to get the latitude and longitude, but as you can see, we still have a lot of empty spaces, which so this red bar is showing that this red annotation is showing that the extension couldn't determine hi Glory, I would take up your question. Let me just run through the few things I did. It just showed that the extension couldn't get the latitude for each of these polling units in Edo State, but it got for some, and it got for some, which was fine. So what I did was also to use someone shared the latitude for the whole state polling unit. So I just got that data also and filtered out for Edo State. So this is what I did here. This was the data someone shared that contains the whole longitude and latitude for the whole nation Nigeria. So I just extracted for Edo State because I'm working on Edo State. I extracted for Edo State, and which you have here. So you have the whole Edo State from that data the guy shared on the Slack app. Right. So this is it, Edo State, and this is that. So what I just did was just do a VLOOKUP where I looked up. Okay, let me just go on the VLOOKUP here. So let's say, let me just cancel it. The formula is off here. So I'll just run the VLOOKUP. So this is the data I got from that sheet. I started for Edo State, and I just did a VLOOKUP of the polling units from the data I got. So I'll just run that now. And don't forget, I still have the column that the extension did for me, but we have a lot of empty spaces. We can't go on with this. We need to fill up majority of the empty spaces, even though at some point I had to just filter out some empty spaces. All right, so I VLOOKUP. For those who know how to use VLOOKUP very well, this will be easy for you. So I VLOOKUP this polling unit within this document. So let's just choose within this document. So this document, I've named the table to be table 1. I'll just type in table 1. I'll just query table 1 out. Okay, so this might be so let me start again.
The screen is static, like it's not moving.
Okay,
It's not moving, no.
Oh, my screen is static.
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to say the same thing.
All right, is this static or I just stop share and start again?
Maybe you should stop and share again.
All right. Okay, that's fine. Okay, while I do that, Glory, you can ask your question. Let me just take that so that we can run very fast.
Okay. Okay, is this class for only Python users? Because I don't really know, I don't understand much about Python. Is
Okay, I also don't, like I said, I'm not also proficient, even though I can work on Python, but I'm not proficient in Python. Like, I don't use Python. Majority of the things I did in Python. Okay, let me just show you. So I look at the query I asked, and like I said, it's just about your ability to ask questions. Can you see my screen? Just confirm my screen is not static.
yes, your screen
You can see what I did. I have a task I did here up to solve, and the task to solve the task and break down the solution like a dummy. So it's just you being able to ask good question. Then it's telling me yes, it's fine. I give him the column of the data set because I'm not using premium for ChatGPT. I can't upload the data. Then he gave me the code. Like, as you can see, this is the code I copied here. So I'm not a Python person. It's just the ability to ask good query ChatGPT. So this is, if you can see, and I'll get to this place. That's why I said, let me just finish up. So this is what I just copied down here, and that's all. But I'll get to how we got here. So let me just talk about how to get, for those who are having issues getting their latitude and longitude, that's how I'm starting from the basic. But to answer your question, you don't need to just copy and paste. Is that good, Louis?
All right, no problem. Thank you.
All right, that's fine. So like I said, for those who just joined, I said I used the extension here, I use Google Code by Awesome to get the latitude, but it got some and it didn't get some. So now I just used the data set I was given. Someone posted it to query out this polling unit within the data set. Because I used for Edo, I just filtered out for Edo State. This is the data set the person shared, this Edo State. And I looked up this PU, I looked up this polling unit within this data set to get the latitude and longitude. This will be easy for if you use Excel very well. Glory said you're an Excel user, so VLOOKUP should be something easy for you. All right, so let's I just want to do an example. Now VLOOKUP. So I want to look up. That was a mistake. So I want to look up this within this, since we were told that this contained the whole latitude and longitude. So let's look at it. So no, this is not what I meant to. So okay. VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP is a function to look up something. So I want to look up this within this sheet. All right, you can highlight the whole sheet if you are used to VLOOKUP very well. But because I've turned this into a table, I've converted it into a table, I don't need to highlight everything. I just type in the table name. The table name is table 1. So I just type in table 1. If you have converted your data into a table, it's easy for you, table 1. So it highlighted everything. So VLOOKUP, I'm looking up this function within this table, and I want you to return back my latitude. So the latitude falls under which of the column? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, the 5th column. Then I put in 5. And I think it was even X lookup I used, but we can also use VLOOKUP. 0 exact. So 0 means that the exact match. So I'm not taking Excel, so that's why I'll be very fast with this. So now it gave me the latitude. So this checked in this. What VLOOKUP did was check this polling unit within this data set and gave me the figure. So that's what we did. You can just copy down, like you do. You just copy down. You don't need to write for everything. Then you do the same thing for latitude, which is VLOOKUP. You're still looking up for these data sets within this table. My table name is table 1. Put table 1. I want to return the latitude. Latitude falls under which of the column? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You type in your 6. 0 exact match. All right. So this also gave me the latitude. So what I did also was to confirm. I asked ChatGPT how to confirm. So he told me how to confirm. I just copied these two stuff. So I just did some confirmation. I can't confirm for the whole data. I just did for some few. Copy this both longitude and latitude. I came here, went to open the Google map. Just confirm you can see my Google map because I'm sharing my own. Can you see the map? Am I shaking it? Are you seeing the map?
No, it's not showing it.
Okay.
No, it's not showing it.
Can you see it here?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So I just copied just to confirm if this is right. I just copied this down here. Many of them were not right. Many of the data set were not right. Many were right. And so I copied down here and just entered. It's telling me, so this is telling me that yes, it's in Edo State, the Gaga or something like that. You can see, and this is, I just came back to my data, Igara word. You can see that Google Map is telling us that yes, this latitude is correct. Some were correct, some were not correct. So what you just need to do, since you've written your VLOOKUP, please tell me when my screen is hanging. So since you've gotten your VLOOKUP, you just copy down, and that's all. So that's how I got my latitude and longitude. Is that okay? Is everyone fine with that? Then what I just did was just to check in with this also. I just used the two to balance up. There were some places that this gave a accurate result. There's some places that this gave a accurate result. I just did an eye observation. I didn't do anything else. I just did an eye observation. And if you noticed, Edo State fall within 7.3 and 6.1. So if I see anything that is not within 7.3, I just remove it out. There was one I saw through something that was in Canada. I just removed it out, just using eye observation to clean your data. Normal thing you do as a data analyst.
Sorry,
All right,
can I ask you one question?
sure.
This longitude and latitude that you are using VLOOKUP to check,
Yes.
is it that someone gave you the data, or how do you generate those data?
No, the data it was sent to the Slack group. There was a person, someone sent the whole units for Nigeria and their latitude,
Okay, the whole longitude and latitude.
yes, I just filtered out for the Edo State I'm working with. If you can check the Slack group, I think someone also sent it to the WhatsApp group also, you can check.
How can we get that? I think that would have been better
Is
if we can get.
Can someone up? Let me see. I think someone posted it on the group. Let me see if we document polling units. Yes, it's on the group. You can check again. Let me see if I can change it.
I'm there now. I couldn't.
So I just reposted it again.
Okay, the total one.
Yes. So what I just did was extract for the state I'm working with. Do you understand?
Okay. Okay, then after you extract, then you bring it to your, what is it called? Google Sheets.
Then I use a VLOOKUP to query out.
Okay.
Is that fine?
Okay, just to query it. All right, yes, that's fine.
So this I got this old data you're seeing, this lag and long from
That's
that
fine.
data. All right. Okay. So that's fine for those who, if you're still having
Okay, so after this one, you now went to the.
Yes. So I would continue so that we are very fast. So that's how I got my latitude and longitude, just by using the extension and also using the polling unit. So I used the two basically. So there are some places I saw that the data were not right.
Sorry, did you add the query to the cross check that you downloaded, right?
Which query is that? So this was what I used.
I mean,
there are 4 columns there. So there are 4 columns there.
Let's try and make the whole Zoom short. All questions. Say this thing is recorded, so we can always watch it later.
Okay.
So that it will not be too long.
That's true.
And then we can also wait for him to finish everything before we start asking questions.
Okay. Yes. I try to avoid that much. So basically that's how I got my latitude longitude, just using extension and also using the document we have. Right. So after I did that, I just copied some out, just interchange so that to fill up some of the spaces I have for the one I use extension. Then I think I just hit one. I just hit this one. Now I have my whole polling longitude and latitude for each of the. Give me a few minutes. So I now have my longitude and latitude for each of my polling units. So that's how I got that. So if you have gotten this, if you have gotten this, you're one step ahead. Okay, let me see. All right. So that's that on this one. So the next thing I had to do was to use Python to now create a cluster based on the latitude and longitude. How do I create a cluster? So what I saw was that there's likelihood that the cluster might not be right or might be right. So I just used like I said, I'm not proficient in Python, but I tried different method and it was still giving me the same cluster. So I felt like, oh, that's right. So I'm not saying this is absolutely right. So what I did was to Okay, this is right. So what was come to ChatGPT. If you can mute yourself, please. Okay. All right. So come to ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT that I'm a dummy. That just explain this thing to me. I gave ChatGPT my major column. So some of the column here, we don't need them. Some of the column like accredited, registered. So I just removed those out and gave it the column I will be needing so that I don't give it too much of information that will make it, you know. Right. So I gave it the column. Then I think I asked the question here. I have this election result data with this column, state, local government. Using the geolocation data, latitude and longitude, create a cluster of polling units based on their proximity, define a proximity radius. I just kind of regurgitated the question that was given to us to ChatGPT. And the first thing it did was understand the data, define a proximity. So I just used 1 kilometer as proximity, and it's using this DBS scan to create a cluster. Right. What it did was then it gave me the code, prepare, install pandas and load in the data, then do this, do that. So like I said, I'm not proficient in Python. What I just did was open my Python notes and copy and paste. My Python note is not here. It's not on this screen I'm sharing. So let me try, give me a few minutes. Let me try to just put in my Python note into the screen I'm sharing. So I work with a lot of sheets. All right, so what I just did was, so I don't disturb everyone, what I just did was just copy and paste exactly this. And what it did was, and copy and paste and load back the data. What it did was it created a column that contains, it added a new column that contains clusters. So it clustered each of the poly unit into 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. And let me see the final data I got there. Is it coming? So that was, you must know the step. First, I first got my Edo one. So I'm just loading the results. So after I got my latitude, I told, okay, this is the clean data I got. Again, this is the cluster. Okay, yes. So this is the cluster. Forget about this Z-score, I will explain. So this is a cluster Python did for me. Basically, Python just did it and I downloaded the data from Python. Just this is the cluster it did. Yes, this is the cluster I did. Let me try. Yeah, this is the cluster I did. I don't want us to run too much. So this is the cluster it created. Then, so let me just ask if you have any question at this point in time. So I can now talk about how I created the outlier and the rest. That one is another process. But have you gotten your longitude and latitude? Have you been able to create cluster? I think that's the first and second task. So where are you stuck? So that probably your question might help someone in any of those stages. Then we can move on to how to create outliers.
Sorry, can I ask, can this thing be done in Excel too?
Everything I did was in Excel. Like, okay, you
Okay,
mean
because I can this in Google Sheets.
yes, Google Sheets. It can be done in Excel. I'm a very good Excel user, but my Excel has expired and I can't download
Okay.
Crack on Mac. So that's why I'm just using Google Sheets. So it can be done in Excel very well.
Can I ask something?
Yes, I'm with you. Yes, I'm listening.
Please, I want to ask a question.
Yes, the floor is open. You can ask.
Okay, so this clustering thing now, is it that we cannot do it without Python?
Okay, give me a few minutes.
You said?
Let me take you back to the question I asked. Yes, you can do it in Excel. Let's see. I think I asked at some point in time.
I hear you.
Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello,
Okay, yes. You said, can we do it without Python?
Yes, that was the question that was asked. So after Excel gave me the Python script, I asked the question, can I use Google Sheets? Then Excel now gave me step by step on how to do it on Google Sheets. Sorry, ChatGPT. So after he gave me the script in Python, I asked, can I use Google Sheets? He said yes, and also gave me step by step. But I felt like this is a long process for me. But as you can see, I missed this. Okay. Yes, as you can see, this guy is saying we can do it in Google Sheet or Excel. You can just query your ChatGPT, and I'm not using the premium version. I'm also using the free version also. So you can just query your ChatGPT and tell it to tell you how to do it in Excel. I think that's what you can do. It gave me a process here, but I felt like I could just easily copy out this script into my Python script, my Python stuff. So that's why I didn't use that for the clustering. But if you have Python, I think it's easy to just do it in Python and just copy code. But you can also do it in Excel based on what ChatGPT said. I didn't do that in Excel. That's for the clustering. Is there any other question?
Okay, can we just continue from that cluster?
Okay. I'm done with this. Okay, I open this. So now, after I got the cluster using, so I'm trying to share my script so that someone can see that it's easy to do. If you can just access a Jupyter Notes, it's just copy and paste. It's not something that is okay. Let me share the script I just put in. All right, so I'm just doing this for someone who is still skeptical about using. So this is the note. All right, so this is the note. Exactly what ChatGPT said I should do. I imported what is needed. I loaded the data set. So this is my data set. I loaded the data set and I just checked in the data set. So this is what I have: Edo, local government, the number of vote. This is what I got, my data set. Then I just copied and paste this. If you check my ChatGPT, this is exactly what they gave me. I just copied, paste, and I loaded it. Copied the next one, pasted, I loaded it, and tried to do a visualization of the clustering. As you can see the clusters. Some were outliers, as you can see here. Some were outliers. Many of the outliers, you will see it in Excel. Some were outliers. So this is basically what you are seeing about outliers. Some were outliers here, some were outliers here, not within the cluster. This is just using an image to solve the problem, the solution. But all these were copy and paste. So that's why I said you can do it. I just checked again, and you can see that it has created a cluster. I checked again, it has created a cluster. So I just copied this out. Immediately created this cluster, I downloaded the data set. Everything is copy and paste. I didn't think of how to write Python. I'm not proficient in it, but it's just the ability to be able to solve any problem, anyhow you get, using anything you are able to get. So that's how we got our cluster. Is anyone still having issues with having to get a cluster after you've gotten your longitude and latitude? If you can just put that in the chat box. So let's move on. Let me stop sharing this and share the notes. Okay. So now,
Imane, are you recording this? So
yes, it's recorded.
you can share on the group chat later.
Yes, it's recorded.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right. So now, after you've gotten your cluster, so for us to get outlier, so the definition of outlier is just not within. If you are a person of stats very well, I think I even have a video. I just Google check. Okay, yeah. So this video shows what an outlier is and how to calculate outlier.
There's a lot of different ways to learn data, but most of them.
So I can also share this. I'll share this data set also on how to calculate. Yes.
Alpha. You can share the link to this video instead of playing it here. Just share the link.
Yes, I'm not playing it. I'm just showing you where you can get. All right. Okay. So the first thing you get when you want to get an outlier is to get your z-score. And how do you get your z-score? This is a long formula, which you might not need to use. So the first thing I just did was create the first thing I did was create a pivot table, which is easy in Excel or use a Google Sheet. I created a pivot table of the average votes. I created average vote for APC, LP, PDP, and NNP. I created the average vote. Then I created a standard deviation also, just using, this is just basic. This is just basic, what's it called? Basic pivot table. So when I created these things, this is what you are going to use to calculate your z-score, which you are going to use to determine your outlier. Now, so to calculate your z-score is just equals to the number, which is APC votes, that's the number, minus the mean you've calculated, divided by the standard deviation. So I believe when you check, I'll share this video to the group. When you check this video, you understand how to create a z-score. Then when you create your z-score, to get your outlier is just basically checking anyone above 3. So in statistics, anything that is standard deviation away, 3 standard deviation away from the mean is an outlier. Okay. You can mute yourself, please. Check your mic mute so that you don't create a lot of distraction. So like I said, after you've gotten your z-score for each of the parties and their votes, you just run a conditional formatting if you know how to run a conditional formatting, and basically just highlighting anyone above 3. So this is above 3 is an outlier. And if you can see this is within cluster 1. This is within cluster 1. And this guy, APC, scored 50. No, APC scored 108. And you see why it's an outlier now. Compared to other votes within this Zoom call will go off now. So next 10 minutes is a free version. But I just wanted to show you that to see that the result is might be good, quote unquote. I don't know. I'm not the one that would judge. But looking at this is 118. But if you have to look at everything within this cluster 1, you can see none is closer to 118. It means that this is above above 3 standard deviation above the average, basically. I don't know if this helps someone or it confused you more, but the process is you get your longitude and latitude, you use a Python or whatever you want to use to create a cluster. When you create a cluster, then you use a pivot table to group the cluster. Look at the first thing you do in your pivot table. Let me show my pivot table is that you bring your cluster to the row. Let's do this again. Let's run this again so that before the score go off. So I want to show you how I did everything. I brought my cluster that I've created to the row. That group, so you have cluster 0, cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3, cluster 4. Then I took my APC votes to the values. The Excel user knows this very well. To the values. Then I said you should not give him the sum, give me the average. I took my LP to the value, give me the average. Because I want to, for you to get your z-score, you have to know the average. Give me the average. Then I did that for the other 2. So let's move again. When I've calculated the average for the whole party, I took my party again to the value. I said, I want to create my standard deviation. Standard deviation, yes, for population, standard deviation for each of the parties. So you have for each cluster, you have the average for that cluster, you have the standard deviation for that cluster. Now, for you to now calculate your z-score is just basically saying that equals to the vote for each party, the vote for APC minus the average you have calculated here. So what's the average for cluster 0 is 74. divided by the standard deviation. Let's put this in brackets so that we, the normal body mass, enter. So look at what this is saying. So this is the z-score for APC under the zero cluster, because under the zero cluster, so I think it's open for question now. Let me just write z-score for APC. But because this might be manual, that's why I just wrote an Excel code. I just wrote a code out. This is the code I wrote. I can't be doing manual stuff. So for me to get this code, I wrote just to show you that these things is not as if, no, this is not, I'm sure. It's not as if I know these things. Like, I was just querying Excel. Because
I'm coming.
Let me see where I got. Okay, not this one. You will see where I was asking Excel, how do I automate this process? Look at, I was just asking the question, how do I automate this process? Because I was tired of doing manual stuff. And luckily for me, I got a better way to automate it, so I don't have to do for manually. So I just used the, for Excel users, the if error is that some of them are 0, you can't divide by 0, it will give you an error. So this is just to cancel error. It's not saying that minus, this is a long formula, but you can just, since it's recorded, you can just look at it and copy as much as possible if you can. This is the formula here, but the major thing for you is get the cluster. When you get the cluster, all you just need to do is just copy this formula, and no, tampering with this. So just use this formula if you can, because you can also note for advanced Excel user, I didn't do for everything. I just copied and paste. It's still the same formula as seen, but I just changed the reference. Excel users will know this. Just change the reference. And what I'm checking this. I've tampered with this actually. Okay, I've tampered with this by. So I was referencing this pivot table here, as you can see, pivot table 2. But what I was explaining, I tampered with this. But this is just to explain. That's why you're not seeing anything here. Let me make sure I do it back. Okay, so that's just it. This call ends in another 4 minutes. So if anyone with a question, I can help you with a question.
Please, can I ask a question?
Yes.
There's this step that says for each polling unit, compare the votes each party received with those of its neighboring units. Can you throw more light on that?
Okay.
Like, how do I do that?
I believe that, so since you've created a cluster is that you've kind of just said that these polling units are within a space. Yeah, within a space. So yeah, you're now using the mean for that space, which is why we created this, cluster. So this cluster is saying that this cluster 0 has a lot of polling units are within cluster 0. So we had these, but I'm just saying my understanding of the question. We have an average for that cluster. So for us to compare for that region, we are going to use one average and one standard deviation, because we've created an average for that place. So I think that's where the place of comparing within 2 regions or something like that question, that's the way I understood it basically. So I don't want to crack my head too much, because the more I think about the question, the more I think more. I just like, let me just do something, and I think from what I did and from what I saw, sorry I tampered with this data. From what I saw that what I just understood was that the idea was not to accurately for you to get the region itself. It's just your ability to be able to get the cluster, and within the cluster calculate the outlier within that cluster for each of the parties. Let's correct this. I was meant to skip that.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Okay.
Good evening. Sorry, I have a question.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, so please, like I'm working on the FCC data set. I have like 2,000 plus role entry. Am I expected to work with all that, or there's a way you reduce the data set to a particular number? Because going through the chart, I saw somebody saying he reduced his own to 215 entries. So I don't know if you did that for this Edo data set, or you're working with the whole number after removing the duplicates. Are you working with the whole number of entries that you have?
What I
don't know if you
did
get my
was,
question.
yes, I got it. I got your question. So for me, what I did was, I did an eye observation to see what I checked when I created my longitude and latitude. I did an eye observation to see which one didn't fall within 7 point something and 6.3, since Google Map told me this latitude falls within that Edo state range. And I removed that
Sorry,
from.
I went off. I didn't hear you from the beginning.
So what I did was, I did a filter to check. I think I still have it here. Okay. So for me, I did a filter to check if there's any data that didn't fall within. Look at this one. This work exactly. This 51, 49 are not Edo states. Basically, I just filtered them out, as you can see. So I didn't work with the whole data, but what I just did was to use an eye observation. I also filtered out the blanks. I filtered out this one. So anyone that I saw that didn't fall within the range of the latitude I'm working with, I filtered them out. Any blank space, I filtered them out. And I think that's the only thing I did. I didn't do any other filter. I just used observation and also blank spaces and duplicates. So that's what I did. I didn't use it myself. Apart from what I did.
Okay. Apart from this very wide latitude and longitude.
Yes,
okay.
yes. So these ones I checked Google Maps. This one's was in Canada or something like that. So that's why I just removed them out.
Wow.
All right.
But sorry, is it recorded? So if I came in a second, just know what from the beginning.
Yes, I believe it. Yeah, it is. It is. All right. This call will keep off now because it's not a premium version of Zoom. So I hope this helped someone. I hope it didn't convince more people. Enjoy. Wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.